So hi students, we will do the board revision for ray optics. Last class, if you see the video, I have done up to uh, total internal reflection, and the derivation of sine of critical angle is 1 by refractive index of denser medium. Okay, so today we will do the next important 5-mark derivation, which is to derive this formula, n2 by v minus n1 by u equals n2 minus n1 by r. So they will give this whole formula only, and they will ask you to derive this formula. Okay, which is for which topic? Refraction through spherical surface. Diffraction through spherical surface. This is for 5 marks. Okay. Now, what are the quantities here involved? This u is your object distance. This v is your image distance. N1 is refractive index of that medium where there is which ray? Incident ray. Very important to remember that. And N2 is the refractive index of that medium where there is which ray? If N1 is in incident ray, N2 will be in refracted ray. Try to remember that. Okay. And R is the radius of curvature. U is the object distance, and V is the image distance. So we need to derive formula between all these quantities for 5 marks. Now, what are the things we should know? Things to know. Okay, the first thing you should know is something called Snell's law, right? So Snell's law, all of you remember, last class already I have explained. Then you should know some basic mathematics like sine of angle can be replaced by angle if angle is very small. If you remember, in first PU also we use this while deriving time period of pendulum. So if angle is very small, sine of angle can be written as angle. Best example is what? Sine 0. Sine 0 is 0, right? So smallest angle is 0 only, right? Similarly, cos of angle. This we don't need, but still cos of angle is how much? When angle is very small? If angle is very small, cos of angle will be how much? Angle itself or something else? It will be 1. Okay. Best example is cos 0, and tan of angle, if angle is very small, will be angle, because tan is sine divided by cos. So on the right side, theta divided by 1 will be theta. So this you should know, and you should know that in a triangle, if this is your exterior angle, let's say this angle is A, this angle is B, this angle is C, then you must remember angle A is equal to angle B plus angle C. Okay, exterior angle is sum of opposite interior angles. So these are the basic mathematical knowledge you should have in order to derive this formula and the next formula. Tanmaya, understood these mathematical tools? See, these things you should know. Otherwise, no, just memorizing, you will forget very soon. If you simply memorize things, you will forget. Okay, chalo, let us derive. Okay, let us derive now. So let us take a spherical surface like this. Diagram is very important. A neat diagram you have to draw. So this is spherical surface. The center of the spherical surface is the pole. Okay. Then if you draw a line, now this will be part of a sphere. And that sphere will have a center somewhere here. Okay. Then this line is called principal axis. Okay. Try to draw with scale. Now, what you should remember is to derive this formula, you have to keep a point object. Sometimes I have seen Students will draw like this. Please don't do that. Please remember all these things, because in exam you will be confused, because there are some other derivations where we put object like this. Understood or not? So please don't put the object like this for this derivation. We keep a point object. So this is our object. From pole to object is your object distance. Pole to object. And how will the image be formed? How will the image be formed? The image will be formed according to Snell's law. So let us say this surface divides the two medium of refractive index N1 and N2. So in exam, how do you start? Let us consider, please listen carefully. If you want, you can write down. Let us consider a spherical surface which separates two media with refractive index N1 and N2. So that is the start. Okay, let us consider a spherical surface that separates two media. Mediums you don't say, because plural of medium is media, N1 and N2. Then you can write R is the radius of curvature, U is the object distance, and image distance is V. Like that, you can explain. Now, how do I draw the image? So we have to draw incident rays. So this is my one incident ray. You can see this is going normally to the surface. So this will go straight out, right? Because this is passing perpendicular, it is hitting the surface perpendicularly. When ray of light will hit the surface perpendicularly, it will go straight. No bending will happen. So this light will go straight. This arrow is very important. Okay, then only people will come to know it is light. Then this light, it is falling at this point, right? Now, what will happen? First, you have to draw normal. So how do you draw normal to a spherical surface? Very simple. It should pass through center. So it should pass through center, because you know from school that any line that passes from center, is always perpendicular to the surface, right? So normal matlab it should be perpendicular. So this is your normal. Now let us say this is rarer medium, this is denser medium. Then your light is going from rarer medium to denser medium. So it should bend towards the normal or away from the normal. Last class you try to remember. Rarer to denser means towards the normal or away. Rarer to denser. Denser to rarer in TIR, it was away from the normal. Denser to rarer. Tanmaya, denser to rarer is away from the normal. That happens in TIR, right? But rarer to denser, it is always towards the normal. So this light will come, this is the normal, so it will come towards the normal. Okay. So you can see this refracted ray and this refracted ray meets at this point, right? And wherever refracted rays meet, that is what we call image. Okay, students. And this is your from pole to image is image distance. From pole to center is radius. Obviously, from surface to the center of the sphere will be radius. So this diagram you have to draw neatly. That is the main thing. And you should understand, I have assumed this is rarer medium and this is denser medium. Now, you have to use Snell's law, right? So in Snell's law, you need angle of incidence. So angle of incidence matlab incident ray and normal. So this is your angle I. Then angle of refraction. This is refracted ray. This is normal. So this is angle of refraction. Correct. Then we will call these angles alpha, beta, gamma. Or you can call this beta, doesn't matter. Beta, gamma. That is up to your wish. Okay, you can call any three angles alpha, beta, gamma. So these three angles are quite important in order to derive the formula. So the first, how do we start? We use Snell's law. So how do we write Snell's law? N1 sin I equals N2 sin R. This is equation 1. Okay. After that, we start assuming that the angles are small. The angles are small, which means the rays are close to principal axis. In exam, please write principal. So I will going to assume these rays are all close to principal axis. In that case, all my angles will be very small. So since angles are small, sine I can replace by simply I. Because I told you sine theta can be written as theta. And sine R can be replaced as R. Okay. So this, after this, you have to immediately assume this and then start writing this one. Now, how to bring, because our formula should have U, V and R. Correct or not? Now, right now, I don't see in this formula U, V and R. So how do I bring it? Very simple. You try to write I and R in terms of alpha, beta, gamma. After you write in terms of alpha, beta, gamma, immediately this distance will come. So let us see. So in this triangle, you see, let us call this point N. So ONC, in triangle ONC, in this triangle you see, you can see I is the exterior angle. So I must be equal to opposite interior angle, alpha plus beta. Equation 2. Okay, this is equation 2. Then in this triangle you see, because I want R is in this triangle, no? So in triangle NCI, in triangle NCI, which is the exterior angle, R or gamma or beta. R or gamma or beta is the exterior. Exterior is beta. Tanmaya, clear or not? Exterior means which is outside the triangle. Prakruti? Clear? Anish? Okay. So beta is the exterior angle. So beta should be equal to sum of interior angle opposite R and gamma. So R plus gamma. But remember, we want R. So what I will do, I will bring gamma this side. So R can be written as beta minus gamma. Equation 4. So once you do that, then you substitute I and R in this equation. Okay, so let us do that directly now. No, I need the triangle. I need the diagram. So this will be N1. In place of I can write alpha plus beta. And in place of R, I can write beta minus gamma. Anish, respond in the class quickly. Then this will be N1 alpha plus N1 beta equals to N2 beta minus N2 gamma. I have just opened the brackets. So this is my equation 5. So first Snell's law, then some geometry so that you can write I and R in terms of alpha, beta, gamma. Once you do that, now you have to bring this distance OP, PC and CI. So how do you do that? Look carefully. Now, this alpha, because angles are small, remember, this alpha can be written approximately as 10 alpha. And 10 alpha in this triangle, if I drop this perpendicular, let me call this point P dash. Okay. So 10 alpha can be written as opposite is NP dash divided by adjacent. Adjacent is P dash O, which can be again written approximately NP divided by PO. Why, sir? Because the rays are actually close to principal axis. See here. The rays are actually close to principal axis. So when I drop the perpendicular, this perpendicular, my P and P dash will be very, very close. Agree or not? P and P dash will be very, very close. So wherever is P dash, I can replace by P. So once you have found for alpha, same thing you can do for beta now. So beta will be approximately, this is beta here. So this triangle you see, tan beta you can write, tan beta you can write, tan beta, np dash by p dash c. So np dash by p dash c. Okay, and p dash is approximately same as p. So np by pc. So in the same way, gamma can be replaced by tan gamma, and tan gamma in this big triangle here is opposite is np dash, which I can write as np divided by pi. If you notice, students, all the distances I'm writing from p, starting from p, because that is one of our sign convention. Remember or not? So all the distances should be measured starting from the pole. And if it is pole in the direction of incident light, from pole this side it is positive, from pole this side is negative. Okay, so let us substitute that now. So I think now this diagram I don't need. So this will be N1 alpha. Alpha is nothing but NP by PO plus N1 beta NP by PC equals to N2 beta is NP by PC minus N2 gamma is NP by PI. So in the numerator, if you take NP common, it will cancel. So N1 divided by. Now PO is object distance. It is towards the left or towards the right? It is towards the left, remember, opposite to incident ray. So we will take minus. So PO will be minus U because it is opposite to incident ray. PC is radius, it is towards the right. So we will take plus. PC is radius, again plus. Pi is on the right side, so it is plus, but it is image distance, remember, image. So V. I think now you all understood. The formula will come immediately. So if you bring this one this side, you will get N2 by V minus N1 by U equals N2 by R. Then you take this one that side, minus N1 by R. So N2 by V minus N1 by U equals R LCM N2 minus N1. Okay, so this is the simple derivation of refraction through a single surface, spherical surface. Again, guys, try to remember this is refractive index where there is incident ray, and this is refractive index where there is refracted ray. This is object distance, this is image distance, and this is radius of curvature. Okay, the next derivation will use this formula. So whatever we have derived, immediately we will use that to derive the next important formula, which is Lens-Maker formula. Shall we start that one? G section students, especially, okay, F section, I know you may have already revised, but please see the video and write down whatever you are seeing, because the more you revise, the better for you. So done, writing part is done, this part. Okay. Now we will derive Lens-Maker formula. Lens-Maker formula. Okay. So for this, you need to have a lens, and lens will have two surfaces, right? before we discuss single surface. So let me just write the formula once more, because I need this formula to derive Lensmaker formula. And I should remember that this is where incident ray is there. This is where there is refracted ray. Okay, so what I do now is I first draw a neat diagram. So this is my lens. Okay, your lens should not be very thick, remember, thin it should be. And the reason for that is we are going to use this formula. Yes or no? Now in this formula, the distances are measured from the pole. Correct? Huh? But here there will be two poles. Yes or no? Two poles will be there. So I don't want that confusion. So in order to remove that confusion, I'm going to consider the lens is very thin. So if it is very thin, it doesn't matter whether you measure from here or you measure from here, because the lens is very thin. Instead, what we do, we measure from the center. And that center is called optic center. Definition of optic center is very, very important for your board exam. So if you remember, it is like this. So optic center is that point inside the lens where if a ray of light is directed, it will pass undeviated. It will pass undeviated. Okay, so remember that definition. Fine. So once you consider the lens is thin, then you draw the principal axis. Now here also, you will draw the object as point object. Okay. Now this medium has refractive index N1. This inside medium has refractive index N2. And this medium has refractive index again N1. So you can think it is air, this is glass. Now one light will go straight like this. You know that one light will go straight like this because it is coming perpendicularly to the surface. Now look carefully. There are two surfaces. One is this, one is this. So the light that goes like this here. Be very careful, okay? So this two light, for this surface, if you forget this part, then this surface is exactly same as this derivation which we did. You remember? We did for this surface or not? So if you forget this part, this surface will bend the light exactly the same way as it did here. So this surface will bend the light like this. Okay, now? So this is your refracted ray. But if this surface was not there, it would have continued. It would have continued. And this would be your image. This would be the image if this was not there. Are you understanding, students? This part is exactly same as like here. Okay. So if this surface was not there, the image would be formed here. But because there is a surface, there will be one more refraction here. So final image will be this one. So let us call this I dash. I dash or I1, whatever you call it. So you can clearly see in this topic, there are two refractions. One refraction is on this surface. One refraction is on this surface. Are you clear or not? So there are two refractions. So let us call this X, Y, this one P1, this one P2. So whenever there are multiple refractions or reflection also, doesn't matter, then the rule is the image made by the first one, the image made by the first refraction will become object for the second refraction. How to remember it in an easy, understandable way? Very simple. If you look at this marker like this, then it's very clear this marker, incident rays are coming like this. Refraction will happen, image will be formed on the, where? Brain, huh? On the retina, okay? So this will be your object because incident rays are coming from this point. So this will be object and here image is formed, right? No, okay. But suppose I put a mirror here, mirror. Suppose I put a mirror here. Then I can see this object in the mirror also. Understood? So what is happening? Light is going like this first reflection, then it will undergo refraction. So now for my eyes, this is not object. For my eyes, now the object is the image made by the mirror. Understood or not? So the image made by the first event here is reflection. So image made by that one will become object for the second one. In this case, the second one was refraction. The first one was reflection. Everybody clear about that? So when I look at the marker in the mirror, the marker is not the object now. The image in the mirror becomes object for my eyes. Rakshita, clear, no? Okay, fine. So let us start. So for first refraction is at which surface? xp1y. So for first refraction, you can see O is the object. Remember, for first refraction. So don't worry about this refraction, only this refraction. So for that, you can see the refracted rays, these two are refracted. They will meet at I dash. So I dash is the image. So object distance will be this U, and image distance will be V dash. Okay, and this final image distance I will call V. So this I will call V, this I will call V dash. Now let us write this formula. N2 is where there is refracted ray. So for the first surface, this is refracted ray. And this refracted ray is in which medium? N2, not N1, remember. So this formula will be N2 by V. V is the image distance. For the first surface, who is the image? I dash. So what will be image distance? V dash. Correct or not? Minus N1 is the incident ray. Incident ray is here. Divided by U is the object distance. O is the object. So object distance will be U equals to N2 minus N1 divided by radius of the surface. Since this is the first surface, let me write the radius R1. So this is my equation number 1. Then let us look at for second refraction. Second refraction is where? xp2y. xp2y. So for second refraction, remember the image made by the first one will be object for the second one. That is what I was telling till now, right? So I dash will be now your object. It will be your virtual object because the rays are not actually coming from there. So this is your virtual object. And finally, which is the image? The refracted rays actually meet here. So I is your image. So let us apply this formula now. So be careful again, students. N2 is the medium where there is refracted ray. So for second surface, refracted ray is this one, remember, refracted. So where it is, in which medium? N1. So this N2 will be N1 here. This is the main part. This is the main part because this is same as the previous one. This is same as the previous one. Okay, only thing is V has become V dash. But here it is very important to understand that for the second surface, the refracted ray is in N1 medium, not N2 medium. So this is where there is refracted ray. So this should be replaced by N1. V is the image distance. So who is the image? I. So it will be I is at what distance? V. Minus this N1 will become N2 now because incident ray is this one for the second refraction. Divided by U is the object. Who is the object? I dash. I dash is at what distance? V dash. Equal to N1 minus N2 by R. Radius of second surface I will write R2. Now in order to make this formula look like this, see what I will do. N1 by V minus N2 by V dash. This I will interchange. So if I interchange, this minus sign will come out. N2 minus N1 by R. Okay, students? So this is my equation 2. Once you reach here, after that, though, aram se you can derive Lensmaker formula. So if you notice, students, this part is exactly same as the previous one. Only here you need to remember the image made by the first one is object for the second one, because light is going continuously like this. So if I pass you a ball, then you catch the ball and then you throw the ball to the next one. So in that case, whatever I have incident that is refracted in the middle, then that refracted will again become incident, right? See, this is incident, this is refracted. For this surface, this is incident, this is refracted. Okay. Now I don't need the diagram. Okay. So now how to simplify this? Very simple. V dash is not important for us because the final image is I or I dash. Final image which is formed is I or I dash. It is I, right? So I dash is not important for me. So what I will do, I will try to remove V dash. How to remove V dash? See here. This is N2 by V dash. This is minus N2 by V dash. So I will add. So adding 1 and 2. So N2 by V dash will cancel with minus N2 by V dash. So here N1 by V. Here minus N1 by U. Here N2 minus N1 by R1. Plus, I'm adding, but there is a minus here. So minus N2 minus N1 by R2. Okay. So what happens after adding these two? This one and this one will cancel. Then you can take N1 common. So 1 by V minus 1 by U equals to, here you can take common N2 minus N1. 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Then you divide by N1. Okay, you cross multiply. After you cross multiply, N2 by N1 you can write N2 by N1. And N1 by N1 you can write 1. Okay, here only I'm doing simplification. But in exam you have to do stepwise. Okay. So this much you have reached. Then finally you should remember that if object is kept at infinity, this one too we did while doing experiment also. Remember the tree. So if object is very far, then image is formed on the focus, right? So if object distance is infinity, then image distance will be nothing but focal length. Okay, we have done this experimentally also. So substitute this here. So 1 by image distance is focal length when object distance is infinity. This side will not change. Why will this one change? This is refractive index of the media. Why will that change if you move the object, right? If I move the object, glass will not become water. Radius also will not change. So on the right side, nothing will change. So N2 by N1 minus 1, 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. 1 by infinity is what? Anything divided by infinity? Zero, right? So this will be 0. And therefore your formula will be 1 by F equals to N2 by N1 minus 1, 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So this is for 5 marks. Okay. Now look here. This part is this only, right? So if I substitute this right hand side for this one here, what will I get? 1 by V minus 1 by U equals to, sorry, it's not visible, right? Okay. So you look at this equation. See here, on the left side is 1 by V minus 1 by U. On the right side is this quantity. but this quantity is nothing but 1 by f. So I can write as 1 by. So this is called your Lenz formula. Lenz formula. The good news is you do not have derivation for this Lenz formula. Okay, there is no derivation for this. I mean, there is a derivation. For our board exam, we don't have to do it. Okay. So Lenz maker formula is done. After that, one 3-mark question is there, which is similar to this one only. Which is similar. The derivation is similar to the previous one, except in the previous one, we used formula between object distance and image distance for a single surface, right? Now we are going to use formula between object distance and image distance for a not single surface, for a lens. This is for a lens, remember. This formula which I wrote was for a lens. Okay, so look here. So now the formula is to find equivalent focal length. Equivalent focal length for two lenses in contact. So let us try to do this little faster. Okay. So you have two lenses in contact. This has focal length f1. This has focal length f2. Now I will keep object somewhere here like before, and I want to find the image. But this time, don't consider this as 4 surfaces. If you consider, actually there are how many surfaces now? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there will be 4 refractions through single surface. So you will have to use that previous formula 4 times. That will be too long, too lengthy. So we will not consider this system as 4 surfaces. Instead, we will consider this system as 2 lenses. Why? Because we already know how to find image distance for a lens using this formula. Are you clear or not? Okay. So I will not show refraction here also, here also. I will show refraction only for one lens. So this single lens would form the image here, I dash. Okay. So if second lens was not there, first lens will form image I dash. But since second lens is there, this light will further refract and image will be formed here. Okay, so it is very similar to previous, but in previous we considered in previous we considered 2 refractions through 2 surfaces. Here we are considering 2 refractions but through 2 lenses, not 4 surfaces. 4 surfaces will be very lengthy. It will be, we have to draw 4 images here, 4 images, which will be complicated. We don't have to do that because already I know how to find image distance using this formula for a lens, remember. So now the question is, I want to replace this one by a single lens, so that whatever this two is doing, this will do alone. Matlab, if you keep object at the same distance, this will form the image at the same distance. Okay, as you can notice, I am showing only one refraction for a lens now. Previously I have shown 2 refractions. So this lens is doing the same thing as these two. So we call this one equivalent lens. Okay, now students, and the focal length of this is capital F, let us assume. So we need to find formula. So for first lens, for lens number 1, you can call this lens number 1, this one lens number 2. Correct or not? Okay. Now here don't use that single surface formula, use lens formula. So let us call this distance u, this distance v, and this distance v dash, and this distance u, this distance is v, right? So for first lens, you can see O is object like before, and I dash is image. Yes or no? If second lens was not there, this would be the image produced by the first lens. So use lens formula 1 by V. Who is V for the first lens? For the first lens, V is V dash minus U equals to 1 by F1. Then similarly for lens number 2. For lens number 2, remember what was the idea? The image made by the first one will be object for the second one. So now I dash will be object and final image will be I. Okay, so once you know who is object, who is image, use the lens formula, not lens maker formula, lens formula. So 1 by V, V is the I, because V is image distance. So I is where? I is at V distance. Minus 1 by U. U is object distance. Object is I dash. I dash is at what distance? V dash. Equal to 1 by F2. Okay. So this is equation 1. This is equation 2. Now write the same thing for equivalent lens. Equivalent lens matlab this one. So for this is very simple. O is object, I is image. So formula will be 1 by V minus 1 by U equals to 1 by F. This is your lens equation 3. Now we don't need the diagram. So how to now find F in terms of F1 and F2? Very simple. Add these two equations because you want to cancel this, remember. So add 1 and 2. Sorry. Let me move this slightly up. Yeah. So if you add equations 1 and 2, 1 by V dash and minus 1 by V dash will cancel, right? So you will get 1 by V minus 1 by U equals to 1 by F1. Remember you are adding. So 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2. Equation 4. So now you compare 3 and 4. If you compare 3 and 4, what will you see? Left side here and left side here are same. Yes or no? So right side, this one must be equal to this one. So 1 by focal length of the equivalent lens must be equal to 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2. Okay, so this usually comes for 3 mark students. Actually, they can give for 5 mark also this question. Okay. So after this, which is the next important derivation? Can anybody tell me? This is 3 mark. Okay. The first one, TIR, which we did yesterday, is also 3 mark. Then single surface is 5 mark. Lens maker formula is 5 mark. The last one is prism. Okay. Not angle of prism. It is refractive index of prism. So it is refraction through prism. I think this year that question is more expected. Anyways, we will do it nicely. Okay. So the first thing in prism is you have to draw a neat and bigger diagram. Don't draw very small diagram. If you draw small diagram, you will not be able to show the angles properly. So show a big diagram. Also remember geometry, some basic geometry, whichever I told you, that exterior angle is sum of interior opposite angles. And one more thing you should know, sum of interior angles of triangle. For triangle, it is 180. But for quadrilateral, how much it is? If you have a quadrilateral, then the sum of interior angles will be 360 degree. Okay, so try to remember that. So let's start with a nice prism. So this is your prism. So this is the base of the prism. Here we will consider refraction. The base will be triangular. Okay, there will be one side like this. This will be rectangular. Okay, so now let us consider ray of light is coming somewhere like this. Okay, so this is one point where the light is incident. So this is normal. So rarer to denser, remember. Tanmaya, don't do mistake this time. Rarer to denser, it will bend towards the normal. So this is the normal. So towards the normal. Okay. Then again one more normal you draw. Now it is from glass to air. Glass to air matlab denser to rarer. So it will bend away from the normal. Okay, so diagram is finished. This is the main diagram. After that, you extend the incident ray and you extend the refracted ray backside. Okay, so wherever they meet, mark that point. And let us now mention important angles. This is incident ray, this is normal. So this is angle of incidence. This is refracted ray for this surface. This is refracted ray, this is normal. So this is angle of refraction. Here, this is incident ray. So this should be your angle of incidence, but we write this as R dash. Okay. And this is refracted ray. This is normal. So this is your angle of refraction, but we write angle E. That is because this is emergent ray. So this angle can be called angle of emergence. Then if you go like this and suddenly you turn like this, then this angle, by how much you turned, that is called deviation. That is called deviation. So like this you are going, then like this you are turning. And how much angle you turn, that is called deviation. So here you are, light is going like this, see, happily la 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 like that. Okay, suddenly it bends. It goes like this and then it bends here. So this angle is the deviation. Okay. So let us call this point, some names we will give: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's it. So we start with quadrilateral. That is the main thing. You have to start. Okay. So you have to remember, in quadrilateral, which quadrilateral? A, D, F, E. You can go back to A, no problem. So in this quadrilateral, you can see this angle is always called angle of prism. Okay, so this is angle A, which we simply write A. So this angle is just A plus. The next angle is ADF, but ADF is 90 degree, right? Because AD is the surface, DF is the normal. DF is the normal. So surface and normal are perpendicular. So next angle is 90 degree. Then the next interior, remember this is the quadrilateral. So this angle I don't know right now. So let me call it DFE. DFE, this angle. Plus last angle is what? FEA. FEA. FE is normal. EA is surface. So surface and normal are always perpendicular. So sum of all the interior angles must be equal to 360 degree for a quadrilateral. Now 90 plus 90, 180. 180 will go that side, minus 180. 360 minus 180 will be 180. So you will get A plus angle DFE equals 180. Okay, so now immediately you will come to know what you should do next. So now you should try to find this angle, DFE. So to find this angle, what I will do? I will look at this triangle, DFE. Okay, so to find this angle, I will look at this triangle, simple. So in this DFE, the interior angles, this is R, this angle is R, next angle is DFE, then again next angle is R dash. So this triangle you have to see, this triangle. So R dash. So these are the three interior angles of this triangle. So that must be equal to 180. So now you can see I have found this angle. That will be 180. R and R dash you take that side. Minus R dash. Then you put this here. Put in equation 1. So if you put this in equation 1, you will get angle A plus DFE. What is DFE? 180 minus R dash equals to 180. Now you take all of them that side. 180 minus 180 cancel. Minus R and minus R dash will become plus if you take it that side. So A equal to R plus R dash. Okay. The dog is barking for some reason. I don't know. Okay. Now look at this formula is very important for your CET also to try to remember that. So this angle A is this angle R plus this angle R dash. It's a simple formula, but to reach here, it takes time. Direct geometry cannot help you. You cannot see this diagram and say, oh, correct. Angle A is R plus R dash. That you cannot find directly from geometry. You have to do some derivations. Okay. After you reach here, now next thing what you should do, you may forget. So what you should remember is deviation. That deviation we have written for some reason, right? So we need to find this deviation now. So to find this deviation, you try to look at this triangle wherever deviation is there. So deviation is angle between this line and this line. So let me draw that triangle. So this is your DE, right? This is incident ray coming like this. This is emergent ray going like this. So this is like this. This is like that. So this is your deviation. Right now, look carefully, students. Look carefully. Okay. This is your D. I just made it separately. So you can see here now, this angle is I. So opposite angle will be also I. But this is R. So remaining will be what? Remaining will be I minus R, right? This is I. Opposite will be also I. Out of this much I, this much is R. So remaining will be I minus R. So this angle will be I minus R. Similarly, this is E. Opposite, this will be also E. But out of this much E, this much is R dash. This much is R dash. So remaining will be E minus R dash. So this angle will be E minus R dash. Okay. Tanmaya, this is clear or not? Check once, all of you. This is I. Opposite will be I. Out of that much I, this is R. So remaining here, that will be I minus R. So this will be I minus R. Similarly, this is E. Opposite will be E. This is R dash. So remaining will be E minus R dash. I don't have space to write here. So I have to skip that part. But here I have shown. So now look at the diagram. This is exterior angle. These two are interior. So I can write exterior is interior angles, sum of interior angles. Right? This is one interior, this is another interior. So this will be equal to I plus E minus R dash. Take minus common. So R plus R dash. And already I have shown you R plus R dash is what? A. I plus E minus E. So these are the two important formulas. Now I don't need this diagram. So what are the two important formulas we derived? A is equal to R plus R dash, whatever equation it is. And deviation is I plus E minus A, whatever equation. Now you have to remember that you can see deviation depends on angle of incidence. Okay, so you need to know that as you change the angle of incidence, the deviation first decreases and then increases. Why it happens that experimentally we can check, and we have done also. And theoretically, if you want, we have to do maxima minima, which is not required. So when I becomes equal to E, remember, your deviation becomes minimum. Okay, now, so when I equals E, your deviation will become minimum. And also R will become R dash. It has to be because of symmetry. Okay, so those who want to see how it is like that. If this angle and this angle are same, then this angle and this angle should also be same. Okay, then only these two angles can be same, because this medium and this medium are same, this medium and this medium are same. So you can apply Snell's law here, you can apply Snell's law here, and you can check that if these two angles are same, these two angles also should be same. However, that much we don't need to know, already the derivation is so long, right? So you need to remember, students, that when angle I is equal to angle E, your deviation is minimum and your R is equal to R dash. So this first equation becomes what? A will be R plus R, which will be 2R. So R will be A by 2. Then second equation will become what? Deviation will be minimum when I and E are equal. So I plus I minus A. Minus A you bring this side. I plus I will be 2I. So I will be what? Minimum deviation plus A divided by 2. Yes, you should draw the graph also in the derivation. Please draw the graph also in the derivation. So your I and R you have found. Once you have found your I and R, finally you have to use Snell's law. So using Snell's law, for first diffraction you use, because we have found I and R, not E and R dash. You can find E and R dash. That is, then you have to use Snell's law at second surface. But I have found I and R. So I will use Snell's law at first surface. So at first surface, what it was? Refractive index of outside medium is 1 because it is air. So 1 into sin I equals to inside medium is glass. So n into sin I. Okay, I hope everybody understood. The light is, this is normal. So the light is going, this is I, this is R. So I is in this medium, which I am assuming air. So if it is air, refractive index will be 1. So 1 sin I is equal to n sin R. So n will be sin I divided by sin R. And I is what? Minimum deviation plus A divided by 2 from here. And R is how much? A by 2 from here. Okay. So in exam, obviously, I don't draw all this flow chart. I mean, all these arrows and all. The teacher will be confused. So stepwise you write. Okay. So I hope all the important derivations are done. Since we still have time, I would like to show you some ray diagrams now. So this part is done. Okay, so this is quite important. Okay, I'm expecting this question. It is slightly lengthy, but just try to remember quadrilateral. First, you draw a neat diagram. That is important. Then you need to remember, you have to start with that quadrilateral, where the two angles are 90. Remember, these angles are 90. This is A, and this angle you have to find using that triangle. And after that, you need to remember that that angle here is I minus R, and here it is E minus R dash. the interior angles, which I explained by drawing the second diagram. Okay, now I will give you 3 ray diagrams. The first one is for simple microscope. So ray diagram for excuse me, simple microscope. Okay, so simple microscope will have a single lens, single convex lens. Okay, and it will have some focal length, right? F. Now what we will do is we will keep the object between the focus and the optic center. So you have to bring the object close to the lens. Then you have to draw the image. So how to draw the image? You have to draw 2 rays. Always first draw the ray which passes through optic center. Why, sir? Because that ray you cannot do anything. That ray has to go undeviated. So always draw the light that goes through the optic center first. So this will always pass straight, remember. This you cannot change. And the other one that is parallel to principal axis, that will pass through focus. That will pass through focus. So you can see if you look at from here, these 2 rays will appear to come from behind. Okay. You have to draw straight, okay? You can't bend it. Yeah. So this is where the image of this point is from. If this is A, this image will be A dash. Similarly, for this, you will find the image below here. So for B, you will get here B dash. And for stomach, you will find here. But no need to draw for stomach also. The ray diagram we draw only for head. Okay, so this is the ray diagram. And you should remember that your image should be formed at least distance of distinct vision. Why? In that case, your image will be sharp. Of course, your eyes will be under strain or not. Remember, your eyes will be under strain in this case because the image is not very far. It is quite near only. It is at D distance. So at least practice this once, all of you. Okay. So quite simple to draw. Bring the object close to the lens. Then first you draw the light that passes through optic center. Because that you cannot change. That will go straight. Then you draw the one that is parallel to principal axis. That will always pass through focus. Then wherever these 2 rays will meet behind, that is where the image will be formed. Okay. Now let us see for compound microscope. Done? Okay. So for compound microscope, you will be having 2 lenses. So one will be slightly bigger than the other one. Okay. So this is your objective. This is your eyepiece. Then what you do, you have to keep the object slightly outside the focus of this. Okay, and don't draw the object too long, because your idea is to you are using microscope to see small objects, right? So don't draw the object too tall. So this is your object. Now, how will you draw the ray? As I told you, the first one you should draw is the one that goes through center. Right? That you cannot change. Okay, this you cannot change. And if you forget to put arrow, you will get 0 directly. The next one is parallel to principal axis. That will pass through focus. The focus is somewhere here, let's say. Meet here. So this is the image made by the objective. Now this will act as object for your eyepiece, but you can clearly see that I need to draw a bigger eyepiece, or I need to take this little bit farther so that the rays would come like this. See, now the problem is this rays, if you continue, see, it is going here, right? So either you have to draw this bigger, or you have to draw this object slightly farther. So in exam that may happen with you also, right? Whatever is happening right now. So I think for me it is better I will draw a bigger lens. So I will draw a bigger iris. Yeah. What is there, right? So now this rays, this you have to straight and straight. Please use scale. Okay. So now how to find the final image? The trick is like this. You have to keep this one inside the focus of this, so that this will behave like simple microscope. So the idea is you draw the final image here. Draw the final image here. Then from here you draw this line and then go straight. Then you draw a line like this and then go straight. So this is the trick that I used to follow. Okay. So you keep the object outside the focus. Image will be formed. Real image will be formed here. Then you have to adjust this distance so that this is between the focus of this and the center. So that way this will behave like the simple microscope. So this will form the image of this on the same side. So draw the image here directly. It's a virtual image, and then go dot 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 here, then go straight. Straight. So this whole thing should be one straight line. One straight line. Okay. I think now it is looking more straight, right? Yeah. And similarly, this should go dot 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 like that, and it should go one straight line. So this is the way you have to draw the ray diagram. Fine, students, is it clear? Okay, so let us now draw the last one, which is telescope. So again, as I told, you have to draw this image first, then you will be able to draw. So you continue this race, stop at these points, then with a scale you draw dot 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 line, then go straight, then dot 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 line, then go straight. That is the most easiest way to draw. Okay, for telescope it is quite simple. First, in telescope, remember your objective will be bigger than the eyepiece. Okay. So here, the one thing you have to remember is you should not draw the object near, because you are going to use telescope to see far objects. So the rays should come from very far, infinity. So remember, the rays from infinity will come parallel, but I will not assume parallel like this. I will assume parallel like this, so that it will have some angle. And don't draw this angle too large. So this one will go straight. Remember, you cannot change that. And this one will bend here. Okay. So this is the image made by the first one. So this is the image made by the first lens. You can draw one more if you want, but two rays are enough. Then for reference, no, you draw this line. Then you can go straight here, then straight here. Again, if you feel like, you can rub this one and make a solpa bigger lens. Okay, so you can increase this one size further. So you can use scale and rubber and all. So now you have made this line, no? So that is reference line. Okay, so now this rays which is going straight here and straight here, this one you have to draw parallel to this one. Okay, parallel to this one, so that your final image is also at infinity. Okay, so this is to infinity, from infinity. So in telescope, you need to remember that your incident rays are coming from infinity and your final rays are also coming from infinity. So object is at infinity. Final image is, this is not final image. This is image made by the first one, but that also should be at infinity. The only difference, now you may be thinking that, Are sir, object is also at infinity, final image is also at infinity, then how are we seeing the object as bigger? That is because by using this whole arrangement, if you look carefully, before without the telescope, the rays were making this much angle. Let us call it alpha. Now you will look at, your eyes will be here, no, now. So you can see these rays are coming at what angle? Some other angle beta. And if you look carefully, this angle is much larger than this angle. Understood or not? So without telescope, if this is your moon, the angle was this much. With the help of telescope, this light rays has been made to go like this, beta. So the image of the moon will appear bigger because the light is now falling at bigger angle at your eyes. Okay, so that is the whole diagram that you need to draw if they ask you image formation from telescope. So these three diagrams practice nicely. So thank you. Tomorrow class we will discuss numericals of ray optics.